Hello everybody, my name is KingStix. I'm a Masters Jungle and Support main. And today I want to show you how to play Maokai in the jungle. Starting off, 9 times out of 10, you want to start out your Raptors. They're going to give you the most XP, and overall it's going to help out your clears the most. If you start blue, it can put you really far behind because oftentimes enemy jungle will come and take your red. Always start with your E whenever you're doing Raptors. Always lay them in the bush so they'll do extra damage. Never lay the first one sooner than 1 minute 11 seconds because if you do, it'll blow up before you actually get to use it. I like to put them in around 112, 113. Right when the Raptors spawn in, auto attack them and pull them near the bush so your saplings can run out and attack them. If you don't, they'll just blow up in the bush without actually helping you. Try to kill the little Raptors first so you can get your level 2 and then you can kill the big Raptor easily with using your Q and auto attacks. Here I do throw down the extra sapling just to do it faster. It was a little unnecessary, but I'm trying to speed up my clear just a little bit. Now you're going to want to move on to your red. Just auto attack at Q. Do you see how it canceled its auto attack? Whenever it's about to hit you, hit it with your Q up close. That way it'll knock it back and cancel its auto attack. So it's usually best to walk up to it, auto, then Q. And you can even throw your sapling in the bush, auto, then Q. But ideally you just want to try to block as many autos as possible by canceling them by using your Q. There's no point in going to your wolf since there's no bush there. It's going to take you a while to clear them and you're going to run out of mana. Just go straight to your blue, toss the sapling in the bush, auto it. Whenever it's about to hit you back, hit it with your Q and just keep auto attacking it non-stop, doing your best to pull it into the bush. That way it's going to be hard for them to take it from you. After blue, you don't really want to do Grump because it'll be low on mana. Plus, Grunt will take a lot of HP and there's not a bush close enough to it so you can't take full advantage of your sapling. While you're taking your blue, look to see if you can gank top or mid. If you can, just go ahead and do it. If not, take Scuttle and then look for a gank top or mid. Again, there's not actually a gank mid, but I'm going to show you how to do it. You're going to want to hug this wall really tight so they can't see you. Even if they lay a ward anywhere in this middle bush over here, and this bush right here, they won't be able to see you as long as you hug the wall. So you're just going to hug the wall, come all the way behind them. This is what a gank should look like. On Maokai, always come in behind the enemy. I'm not going to use any of my gap closures to get to him. I'm just going to walk up behind him, add red buff, hit him, and then right as he's about to start getting behind me, I'm going to walk to cut him off, use my Q really close to him to knock him backwards while auto attacking him the whole time. I still don't want to use my W because I'm saving it for once he starts to make some distance in between me and him. So I'm just still auto attacking him. He starts to make some distance. I throw my sapling out way in front of him. That way I'll know it will land. I auto attack him. I have red buff on him. He's made quite a bit of distance. So now I W. Even if he had flashed, I would have gone with him. I auto attack him, step slightly behind him. And now I'm going to Q him backwards once again. After you snare them with your root, you have enough time to auto and Q pretty easily. Make sure you are behind them before you Q. That way you can get them in the desired direction that you want. It's just going to push you away from them. So in this case, I want to push him back towards my turret. It'll give me more time to kill him, etc. So I'm just going to finish chasing him down and autoing. Make sure you don't cancel any autos because every bit of damage early game really does count. But the main thing to take away is you don't want to use your W to close the distance when you're behind them. Only do it once they're getting away. And don't forget to get behind them and then cue them back in the direction where they don't want to go. Assuming you're on red side of the map, same thing. You want to go ahead and start Raptors. Don't lay a sapling in the bush before the 1 minute 11 second mark. If you do it any sooner than that, then they're going to go off before you can get a chance to use them on the Raptors. Red buff is the same thing. Just top a sapling in the bush. Whenever it's about to hit you, use your Q on up close to knock it away. It'll cancel its auto and you'll take less damage. Make sure you are close enough because if you're not, it'll just be a slow in damage instead of a knockback in damage. Go ahead and skip your wolves once again. You'll take too much damage from them. Go straight to your blue, sapling in the bush, auto attack Q, keep pulling it into the bush. After you're finished with your blue, don't bother doing your Gromp or your wolves. They'll take too much damage, and once again, since there's not a bush by them, your clear is going to be very slow. Once you are level 3, you're a pretty mean ganking machine. You can't really 1v1 most enemy junglers since you don't have that much damage. So you're going to want to stay away from 1v1s for the most part early game unless they're pretty much one shot. Now I look for a gank mid, I look for a gank bot, and since I see gank bot, there's no point in doing Scuttle. I can always come back and get it. And once again, this is how you gank the enemy. I'm just going to come in behind him, just walk straight up behind him. I'm going to auto attack him. And then right as he's about to get around me, I'm going to Q him back that way. Immediately after the Q, I'm going to walk to my right to cut him off and then proceed to keep auto attacking him. I do have red buffs. I'm putting a lot of pressure on him. He has to flash right now, but even if he does, I do still have my dash, so he's pretty much guaranteed dead. Still auto attacking him through the sapling slightly behind him, so that way we would be able to get him. Auto attack again. I actually accidentally canceled that one, I believe. I'm going to hit him again. My W is still up. I'm waiting until he makes more distance in between the both of us or until he flashes. He's starting to get farther and farther away, so I'm really ready to use my W, especially since he might flash. I use my W, auto attack, and then Q him backwards once again. Even if he does flash, he won't be able to get past me. Just keep auto attacking him and he's pretty much just screwed. The only tip I really have for using your ultimate on Maokai is the fact that it is really strong if you use it properly. The best way to use it is to come up behind the enemy since it does move so slow. If you use it left and they're running left, you're never really going to catch them with it because it's so slow moving. You want to use it against the direction that they want to move. So here I wait for Zyra to walk up. I want to get Jin and Zyra, but Jin started walking back, so I walk back. So I'm just hoping they run back up so that way I can use my ult behind them. Now that I see Zyra, I'm just going to walk up. I'm going to throw my ult at a slant. If Zyra runs north, we're going to kill her because I can just cut her off. So here I throw it down. She sees me going for Jin, so she's naturally going to run this way. And look at my ult. No matter where she goes, it's going to hit her at this point. So she's snared. I'm going to knock her up. I'd actually knock her up a little bit too soon before my ult snare has finished. And then I chain CC it. And then I chain CC it into my W snare. So just ult snare into Q knockback into your W snare. Try to space out your CC so you don't waste it all at once. I want to break down one more fight for you guys. So here they're pushed up pretty far and they're going to have to run this way to get away from my team. So I just throw down my ult behind them, cutting off their path. So no matter what they do, they're going to get hit by it, snared, and then I can use the rest of my CC. The black shield is going to save the ADC from getting hit by me. So here I just throw down my stun. I hit both of them and break the black shield. Keep auto attacking. I do use my snare even before they build distance because I'm trying to slow her down for Thresh to get closer so he can use his stuff. Because if I didn't use it, they would have just kept getting farther and farther away. He lands a decent hook. Now watch what I do. I position myself in between both of them. I Q Morgana, but it's still going to hit Xayah. Your Q hitbox has a hidden hitbox slightly behind you. So the best thing to do in a team fight is to try to mosh pit because even people who are behind you will still get knocked up, like with what you saw there. Just going to try to stay on her, auto attack, auto attack. I know Talia has her knock up, so I'm trying to bait that out. I'm going to act like I'm running away and then immediately turn around in the other direction, thus dodging it. I'm going to try to get to Morgana and snare towards her. I probably should have just flashed the snare, but I didn't really want to. So I Q Talia, I auto attack her. I then throw a sapling into the bush. Since I am rooted anyways, I might as well. It's also going to cut off her path because it is a slow in damage. Going to immediately flash on her, auto attack, snare. I honestly didn't need to flash there. I probably could have just snared, but I panic flashed into snare. So it's whatever. Unfortunately, the ignite does get me. The moral of the story is that your Q has a hitbox slightly behind you. So even if someone is behind you and you use your Q in front of you, they will still be hit by it. Also use your ult whenever you're behind the enemy to cut off their path. Alright guys, these are the runes, masteries, and items I suggest you run on Maokai in the jungle. The most important thing for your masteries is that you take Courage of the Colossus. It's very important for 1v1, 2v2s, and late game and team fights. It's going to give you a huge shield, keep you alive in the fight. It's going to be very difficult for them to kill you if you have it. For your runes, I run a really standard page on Maokai in the jungle. It's a very standard tank page. Most people run it as well. Some people do run magic resist, which isn't necessary unless pretty much the whole enemy team is AP. You can take scaling magic resist, but overall taking AP on Maokai sucks because it doesn't scale very hard, and we're not really going to be building any magic penetration items either, so there's really no point in my opinion. Also, since we're usually going to be building Spirit Visage for our second or third item, that gives us loads of magic resist, so in my opinion taking magic resist runes on Maokai is pretty stupid. Overall, I do think it is best to take cooldown reduction runes on Maokai, and just taking some attack speed and scaling health is the best thing to do. So overall, these are the runes I do suggest you run. For your items, the most important thing is that you rush Cinderhulk. After Cinderhulk, you want to get Ninja Tabbies if you're the only tank on your team. If you're not the only tank on your team, going for Boots of Mobility are a great choice if you're going to be doing a lot of ganking. If you have a lot of easy lanes to gank, I suggest building Boots of Mobility before you finish your Cinderhulk. So just get Balmy Cinder or one of the Smite items and then get your Boots of Mobility. That way you can do a lot more ganks if you feel like the enemy lanes are really easy to gank. Otherwise, just get Cinderhulk first, get your normal boots, and then get your Tabbies or your Boots of Mobility. After you have your Cinderhulk and your tier 2 boots, you really want to go for Righteous Glory. It's going to make your ganks absolutely insane. After Righteous Glory, you typically want to get a Spirit Visage because it gives you so much AP and its passive works really well with your passive. If the enemy team doesn't have more than one AP person on their team, you might consider not building it at all and going straight for something like Warmog into Locket. Instead of getting Spirit Visage, if your team doesn't have any shield supports or anything like that, you might consider going for Locket right away. But in general, getting Spirit Visage straight into Locket or getting Spirit Visage straight into Gargoyle Stoneplate into Locket are great choices. Ultimately on Maokai, avoid building AP items, avoid building magic penetration, attack speed, and attack damage, and you should be good to go. Always start E and max it last. Level 2, take Bramble Smash, which is your Q, max it first. Level 3, you're going to want to take Twisted Advance and maxing it second. And of course, you're going to want to take points in your ultimate whenever you can. Alright guys, that is going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this Maokai Jungle guide. I didn't want to keep it too long, but I still want to give you guys as much valuable information as possible. Let me know if you enjoyed this style of guide. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out, and I do enjoy reading your comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next video.
Yeah.